Okay, my goodness gracious. Let's see, is this going live? Yes, this is going live. Okay, I am so sorry, everybody. Welcome. Happy 2020. Happy 2024. 4 years behind, huh? Yeah, so I'm really sorry about the live not going through. I'm still kind of checking on what happened. I have no idea what happened. So maybe the lives have changed in terms of how you set it up, but they have me doing it on Studio now instead of just putting it up like I did before and then just clicking on and it goes. So I apologize for that. Hopefully this will work and people will get the link that I posted on the other one. So I'm gonna wait just a little bit. I'm still kind of getting my bearings together here, trying to make sure that people are able to be rerouted to this live. Oh, boogers. Well, I'm thinking of doing something on a weekly basis for 2024. I think it might be helpful for people to have something that's more consistent. I do want to start talking about pain management alternatives because though I have a lot of training in posture correction and corrective exercise, injury rehab, post PT injury rehab, I have dealt with chronic pain issues since I was a kid, and so I have a lot of experience with that and a lot of education around that as well. My master's degree actually focuses a lot on chronic pain management. So it's hard to get training certifications in chronic pain management. So a lot of it is through experience and just studying with various people who have training either in physical therapy or, stretching, yoga, whether it's chiropractors or acupuncturists or massage therapists, different people like that. So you gain experience in how to work with your chronic pain when you enter into your wellness team. So that's a big part of recovery and managing chronic pain is through having a really good wellness team and establishing that. So I have some videos on chronic pain management and alternatives and solutions. I have a playlist on that, and I will put the link down below. Make sure to, if you have questions, put it in the chat. And I do have some things that I'm going to address for this video while people come on. And I will, for follow-up videos, what we'll do is I'll just continue to put together a list of questions that I'll answer, things that we can address, and just continue to build up your tools list, your toolbox, and help you with your chronic pain issues. In regards to posture correction, I'm going to be talking a little bit about something that that I do talk about in my videos, but it's going to be a little bit different. So I want to start with what should I start with? I think I'm going to go ahead and start with the pain management section. And then what I'll do is I will do a timestamp for you guys in the drop box down below so that you can know when pain management stops and when the posture correction begins. Okay, so to start off with, we know that chronic pain impacts people, body, mind, spirit. It impacts every nook and cranny of people's lives. And it impacts not just the chronic pain sufferer, but it also impacts the people around them. So if you have family members or a spouse, it's going to impact them significantly, especially if you are a chronic pain sufferer for many years, right? So that can really weigh heavy on not just the chronic pain sufferer, but the people who are around you. If you have a caregiver, it's really important that caregivers take really good care of themselves as well. And I have a video on that too. And I just want to welcome all the people that are showing up. And make sure to leave your questions. I will put that down here in the chat. So it impacts everybody across the board, and it doesn't stop as you age. It also continues, right? Because the body, the structure, the muscles, everything changes, and so you have to address those issues as you're aging. So it's really an incredible process to experience chronic pain. So let's look at some solutions. And, there are just tons. There's tons of solutions for chronic pain management. If you guys have thoughts about things that you've tried and they have failed miserably, I want to hear about them. Because when you have chronic pain, you need to sometimes have more than one solution. Sometimes you have to have 5 to 10 different tools that you utilize at any given time just to manage the chronic pain. I don't know if people realize that. Sometimes people think, oh, well, if I just take pain medication, that will help the issue. But if you have chronic pain that is resulting from a muscular imbalance, or say a structural imbalance that's causing an impingement with the nerves that's sending off zingers down your limbs, you have to address the structural and muscular issues and those imbalances in order to have some kind of long-term benefit and resolution. Does that make sense? So it's really important that we look at not just one solution, but you're looking at multiple solutions and tools that you're implementing. It can't just be the pain medication. It can't just be, the massage therapy, or it can't just be that you're modifying your duties. You really have to have an awareness of what is going on with your body. If it is a system issue, if you have a digestive problem and it's causing pain, if you're having, menstrual cramps, which is causing back pain, you're getting headaches, you're getting nausea, these are all chronic pain issues for some people. So we want to take a look at what is underlying everything and combining as many alternatives as possible so that you are, experiencing some benefits, some long-term benefits. So we have things that you can do. And also, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that weather. So temperature really makes a big difference. So right now we're in a colder time of the year, right? So when it's colder out, if you are somebody who has greater symptoms when the temperatures go down, you need to make sure that you're keeping your body warm, right? So there are things that we need to take into consideration with the seasons of the year, the warmth of our house, the clothes that we're wearing. All these things actually can impact the pain that we experience. If you have neck and shoulder tension and pain, for example, you get headaches. Sometimes having a scarf around the neck, as simple as a scarf around the neck or a hat on the head, for some people can really make a massive difference in their chronic pain management. So temperature makes a big difference for some people. So soaking, these are really simple, basic things. Soaking, heating pads, ice heat therapy, aqua therapy. If you have access to a pool and it's heated and you're able to utilize it, I really have found a lot of benefits, not just for myself over the years, but for clients that I've worked with. I've done pool therapy with clients at their home where they've had a heated pool. It's amazing the recovery, speed of recovery that takes place when you're doing pool therapy in a pool that's heated. For people who have, herniated discs, or, you're constantly having to get cortisone shots in your back. If you've got access to a pool that's heated, you will find that you will have a decrease of need to have those cortisone shots, in my experience. So these are just little things that we think about. So hot, cold therapies, soaking, really important. Ice therapy, if you have a Dixie cup and you have ice in it and you start using it on, say if you have tendonitis here, you have shoulder issue, you have back issues, different things like that can help to decrease the inflammation, can help to numb the pain. So some of that ice therapy can help to decrease your pain. Okay, so hot, cold therapies, massage, compression, acupuncture, acupressure, chiropractic, these kinds of things, also very, very helpful. I have some tools and some products that I'm going to be showing you guys as well that I absolutely love. Right now, I'm sitting on a chair that's a massager, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you. And I have the Theracane. I have a bunch of other products behind this chair here that I'm going to show you guys that I use myself, and I highly recommend. I am a massage freak. I really love self-massage. I think that it fixes so many of our problems. So I highly recommend, if you guys do not have massage tools in your home, you need to get some. You just need to get some massage tools, because they help us to relax. They relax the muscles. They break up knots. I mean, it's just, you need to have it. You need to have, I don't know. I'm a massage freak, so I really, really love self-massage, and I highly recommend it. So I will show you guys some of those things. Relaxation. So things that we can do to relax. Breathing. You might do some meditations where you're focusing on each part of your body, relaxing each part of the body can be very, very, very helpful. Meditative movement or relaxation movement is incredibly beneficial, where you're just letting the body go and relax. And I know that when you're experiencing chronic pain, it can be difficult. I know. I get it. You're bracing, you're holding, you're waiting for the next, glitch that surges pain through your body. I get it. I really do. I've been there. I know what that feels like. And we still need to find ways that we can move and allow our body to try and relax. So my prayer for you is that you can take tiny moments, just tiny spaces, and try and let your body move. Just even if you're lying down in the most comfortable position that you can be in, and just try and move your body just a little bit. Breathe, try and relax the muscles and breathe through it, but move, right? Because when we experience chronic pain, or when we are a chronic pain sufferer, movement is scary. Any kind of movement is scary. And we become afraid then to actually move. And I want to just encourage you to find small ways, tiny little increments where you can move your body in a way that actually feels good and feels safe. Okay, so we need to be able to move our body. And eventually, when we work on corrective posture, we need to be able to move our body in all different directions, right? So when we get into corrective posture work, then we are looking at range of motion, right? Range of motion, bilateral equality with the muscle, balancing, correcting discrepancies in the structure, all of these kinds of things come into play. But when we're a chronic pain sufferer, and oftentimes when you're a chronic pain sufferer, you're going to have postural discrepancies. So eventually down the road, you're going to need posture correction. So these things actually both play a part with each other. Okay, so movement, things that are relaxing, breath work, just really allowing yourself to stay in a positive, focused frame of mind and not settling into despair. Really, really important. Moving on to that next area would be joy. We need to have a sense of joy. When we are a chronic pain sufferer, it's very, very difficult to experience joy. So having ways where we can be joyful, changing our perception of the chronic pain, instead of it being such a desperate situation, we need to focus on how we can be positive and joyful, and maybe having people around us who understand, right? So one of the things that I have found through social media is that some of these Facebook groups have some pain management. They are actually pain management groups. Some of them are pain specific or injury specific groups, can be really, really supportive. Some not so much, but some can be really, really supportive and inspirational. So in terms of helping our attitude to stay focused and positive, being in groups and around people who do understand and who can provide support, insights, solutions, alternatives, different things like that, I think is really important and really, really powerful. So I want to encourage that. If there's reading, movies, music, things that will help you to stay positive and joyful, these are things that are actually really, really important. And we want to also make sure that we are being responsible and accountable for the chronic pain. So if there are things that we are doing where we're not modifying, for example, so this is kind of like just a real strong encouragement, is that there are some people who have chronic pain, but they do things, they still engage in activities that exacerbate their symptoms. So I'll have some clients, they'll say, well, Ashley, I can't stop picking up my baby. Okay, so I had one client where they herniated discs when they delivered their baby. So, you know, Ashley, I've got a baby, I've got herniated discs. How am I still supposed to not take care of my baby? Well, we have to look at how you can modify those activities so that you can still experience that, so you can still do the work that you need to do, but do it in a way that is the most responsible for your body. So there are ways that we can still function in our daily activities, whatever that is, but we need to do it at a smaller, you know, those smaller increments. So instead of reaching down and picking up like this, maybe we lower our body down and we sit down. We have a chair next to the crib, you know, or, you know, we figure out how we can just modify our household to accommodate our chronic pain issue, whatever that injury is or that disability is, the best that we possibly can. Does that make sense? And if you guys have any questions about the things that I'm saying, what I want you to do is you can leave those in the comments when you come back to the video, or if you're watching the video now, and you can leave some comments for me and I can respond to those, okay? If you're able to walk, nature walking is so lovely and relaxing. So anytime we can get out in nature where it's just away from a lot of noise and we can just kind of take in the calmness of nature, really, really important. So I'm a huge advocate of nature walking. You want to be careful though. So if you are going to a place where there's hills and your chronic pain issue is exacerbated by elevation, you know, you want to make sure that you are choosing an area of nature that is more flat. So these are just ways that we think about that, okay? Proper positioning. So how we are sitting, standing, sleeping, working, really, really important. So pillows, I'm really big on pillows. I have some sleep videos where I talk about positioning and how we can utilize pillows to best support our posture and also helps with pain management. Huge. I highly recommend that, you know, a lot of people, they have a hard time with pillows. They try a lot of different pillows. I've had a number, I don't even know how many clients and even followers here on YouTube. I've tried, you know, 15 different pillows. None of them work. I get it. You know, we just have to keep trying. You know, there's no magic bullet. You know, I'm gonna say I'm a real big Jackson roll person. I really like these cervical pillows. So, but not everybody does well with this cervical pillow. Some people do better with something that's a little bit more flat. Some people do better with, I've even seen people use the pillows that have the water in them or that have the different, oh gosh, like the little, not the feathers, but they have different things inside of the pillow itself. And everyone responds a little bit differently depending upon your need. This is another pillow that sometimes I will actually sleep with. Look how small this is. So my pillows actually change. Sometimes I'll sleep with that cervical pillow, Jackson wool. Sometimes I'll sleep with something like this, as small as this. This has rice in it. Okay, so you can find different things that you sleep with. Sometimes I'll have people sleep with a pillow in between their arm here and the bed itself. If they're side sleepers, sometimes I'll have people sleep on pillows underneath their arms. If they're back sleepers, underneath their knees. It just really, really depends on what helps you to be the most comfortable. There are some people who actually feel more comfortable in a recliner. So you just have to find what helps you to be the most comfortable. And it's important. You know, sleep is very, very important. And so we want to make sure that we try all the things that we can to help ourselves to sleep well when we are chronic pain sufferers. Okay, so I'm going to get into, the last thing that would be supports and braces. So if you are a chronic pain sufferer, sometimes having a brace or a support of some sort, whether it's, you know, a brace for the tennis elbow, whether it's a neck brace, whether it's a lumbar brace, could be a knee brace. I have somebody that I know that wears a brace here on her upper arm, and that helps with a shoulder injury that she has. So there are all kinds of braces. If you have plantar fasciitis, there's a number of braces that you can use for plantar fasciitis, right? Whether you're sleeping or whether you're awake. So there are all different kinds of things that you can use as an alternative. Is it going to take the pain away completely? It might. It might. But it might not. So if you're a true chronic pain sufferer, remember the gate doesn't close. So you're constantly having pain messages being sent through your spine, and it is sending out those pain messages every few seconds, actually, if you're a true chronic pain sufferer. And I did my master's thesis on this, and it was surprising to me that the gate doesn't close. And it is still surprising to me after all these years that pain doctors and pain specialists do not know how to address the gate at the base of the skull not closing. And those pain messages continue to be sent out every few seconds. So, you know, what I really like to focus on is that we want 51% of our body, and I think of it as stock, you know. So if we are implementing more alternative therapies, more approaches, more tools and solutions for the chronic pain, we are sending a message to the body. We're countering those chronic pain messages going down the spine. We're countering that more often than the pain messages are being sent out. So we want 51% or more of that amount of time that the pain messages are being sent out. Does that make sense? So the more often that you can utilize pain management alternatives throughout your day, the more your nervous system is going to start to shift. It's going to say, oh, hey, she's countering more often than I'm putting out, right? So if she's countering more often than I'm putting out, I'm going to start to shift how much pain messages I'm going to be sending out. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I really found that to be true for myself. The challenge with that is time, right? So how much time in a day do we actually have to, you know, to implement all of those strategies? So many, many years ago, when I had initially sustained a back injury, I was working on my feet 3 to 5 hours a day. 3 to 5 hours a day I worked on my feet just so that I could walk. And, you know, it took over a year for me to be able to walk more than half a block. So I'm definitely in a different place today. And the great thing about injuries and recovery and pain management and so forth is that you can be older. You can be a lot older. You can be 25 years older and function better than you did when you were younger. So it is possible to actually age and be in better shape and condition than you were when you were younger and you were injured. So there's some encouragement there for you guys. Let's take a look at some products. Okay, so I've got this This guy right here, I'm going to turn this on. This is one of my most favorite pieces. I'll take this off here. This is a full body massager. Let's see here. Can I? So it's a full chair. Okay. And it has a remote. So you can see this here. And I turn it on. And what it will do is it sends like a shiatsu roller up and down the side of the spine, either side of the spine. It also has one for the neck. So when you utilize this, it goes all up and down. Now I'm 6'1", so my back is super, super long. But this feels absolutely stunning on my body. So I'm a really big advocate of this. This has some additional benefits to it, but I don't use the compression part of it so much. I just really love the shiatsu massager, and I like the neck piece to it. This hits my shoulders a lot, which I absolutely love. So it's got these rollers here, and then it's got these rollers here. And this here will help you to focus on just a particular area, like a spot area, or it'll help you to go all the way up and down the spine, or you can focus just on a couple of areas. So I really, really like this. Now, I've had this product for about 3 years now. It works great. So I am a huge advocate of this particular one. I will put all the products in my Dropbox down below. It also has a heat button, so it'll heat up as well. So if you are somebody who runs cold and benefits from something that warms you up, this is also going to be really good for that. Okay, so I absolutely love this this item here. I'm going to move this over to the side here. And I have all of these goodies. I have all of these goodies here. Let me see if I can move myself down here. Okay. And again, if you guys have questions about these things, you let me know. So, the other thing that I really, really like is this is another massager. So I've got a bunch of massagers for you guys. You know that I love massagers. So this is another massager. A client of mine many years ago actually turned me on to this. She's like, Ashley, I know you love massage. You want to try this out. So you plug it in, and this is something that you basically, you can hold on to. It has little hand holder. So you put your hands inside here, and you just hold on to it, and you turn it on. Where did the thing go? It's up here. This also has a heating component to it. You can reverse it, turn it into reverse. You can turn it into a heating. So you can see here, the balls heat up. So these are really, really fabulous. You can put this around the neck and the shoulders. Put your arms into it. Really wonderful. You can bring it down to the upper back and just hold on to it. So if you're watching a movie, if you're at work and you're able to utilize something like this, if your back gets tight, you can just have it rest on the back of your chair. So say you have a chair that you're sitting at that has a back to it. You can just put this on the back of the chair and you can just rest against it. Okay. So this is also something that is wonderful. This is also something that you can travel with. Okay, so if you want to take something with you that is particularly lightweight, this is something that I would recommend. It comes with a bag and with handles, and you can just carry it with you. Okay, so that's something that I really, really like a lot. Another thing that is a wonderful massager. This is not as much of a shiatsu massager, but this is a pretty heavy duty massager. This is something that my chiropractor turned me on to. And I will show you this. This is called the Genie Rub. And this is something that you just rub across the top of your leg. So it's a little bit different than an actual shiatsu point type stimulator. This is going to go over the muscle. So if you have a long muscle that you really want to work through and smooth out, this is going to be something that you will enjoy. If you have, if you are a caregiver or you're the spouse of somebody who's a chronic pain sufferer, this would be something that you would be able to utilize. Okay. I've been able to use this on pretty much every part of my body. It feels great on my feet. So I highly recommend that product. And my last electric massager is going to be this guy here. This is a foot massager by Homedics. And this one here is, it also heats up. And I'll show it to you. And as we move into 2024, you know, I just really want to encourage you guys who are chronic pain sufferers, you know, how can you be best caring for yourself? It doesn't mean that we are going to be completely pain-free, but if we can do things to best support our wellness, we want to make sure that we're doing that, okay? And that all impacts our posture. So down the road, you are going to need to correct your posture because when we have pain issues, it impacts our posture. So deal with the pain, get it under control, decrease it, then get yourself to a place where you can start really working on correcting your posture. So this here, it starts without heat, and then you press it a second time, and there's the heat. So this has both a non-heat and a heated component to it. Okay, this is for the feet, and these little nubs, they really kind of get into the reflexes on the bottoms of the feet. Remember, with reflexes, we're dealing with all the organ systems and the different parts of the body. And I have videos on the feet and on the reflexes to show you where the different parts of the feet are associated with the other areas of the body. Okay. Let me get to the bongers. This is something that you can use on yourself. This is something that you can use on somebody who is a chronic pain sufferer who can handle a little bit of percussion. The nice thing about the bongers is that they have reach. So it's something that you can use on your back. Okay, something that where you can reach around. Whereas some people, they can't actually reach around with their own fingers. So being able to reach around is really, really helpful. Now, some of these products here aren't just for chronic pain sufferers. It is for people who have postural discrepancies from muscular tension, and that muscular tension needs to be broken up. So though I'm talking about this stuff now, it does relate to the next section on posture correction. So just a note here. We are breaking up muscular tension that may be impacting chronic pain issues, but we're also breaking up muscular tension that is creating postural discrepancies. And I'll be talking about that in the next section here. Okay, so really, really helpful. These bongers are wonderful. They come in the set. Okay, you don't really need the set, but they come in the set because traditionally with Chinese medicine and Chinese massage, the percussion mimics the two hands. So this comes from that concept, the whole idea. Okay. This is a neck cloud. This is a posture pillow that is not to be slept on, but it is something that you lie on that helps with the curvature of your neck. So this is really nice for posture correction for the cervical spine. It also really helps the muscles around the neck and the cervical spine. It helps those muscles to relax. So sometimes when we have either an injury or just a strain, a sprain, something where we've pulled, even if we're grinding our teeth or we getting headaches, different things like that, sometimes relaxing the muscles on either side of the neck helps to relieve some of our symptoms. This neck pillow, this neck cloud can be, you can put your neck on it either direction. One is a little bit more advanced, and then the other direction is a little bit more of a beginner. Okay, so this is something that I have tried myself, and I actually have found this to be really, really lovely in terms of correcting cervical position and also helping to relax the muscles around the cervical spine and even the base of the skull, right? Because it kind of dips down here and either side here is pressed. Compression on these gallbladder points on either side here at the base of the skull are really, really fantastic for relaxation, for releasing some serotonin, and also the endorphins, and also helping to release any congestion and stagnation in the head itself if we're talking about meridians for the acupuncture system. So highly, highly recommend this iCloud pillow. Again, I'll put everything down in the Dropbox when I get done. For those of you who do know, I teach a weekly Theracane class on Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. And we use the Theracane in addition to doing some therapeutic stretching. Sometimes we do some breath work to focus on acupuncture points. And I, depending upon what the students need in each class, will determine what points I focus on. But a lot of times, because we have neck, shoulder, back issues, we do a lot of that on a weekly basis. It is a phenomenal class. I really highly recommend it. If you have not had an opportunity to do it yet, I highly recommend you message me and get on the class roster. Okay. And yeah, so this one here is the travel Theracane. So you can actually pull this apart and then you can put it in your bag and travel with it. I have the other one, the original one as well. And I did some product review videos on it, and the company reached out to me and they sent me the travel product so that I can show everybody the two different options. So this here you can use, everywhere in the body, really. You can use it on your legs with these nubs. We use it on the knees in the class, around the knees, on the legs. We use it on our feet. We use it on the back. Okay, so excellent, excellent product. I highly recommend Theracane. Okay, Of course, tennis balls. I am the originator of the acupoint release technique. Many, many years ago, it was Acussage. So I have a blog actually, and I do also have some videos using the tennis ball. So I will also put some links to those things. I have a link on my website to my blog for some of the other write-ups I've done on using the tennis ball on specific acupressure points. And I created the point release technique specifically to deal with the chronic pain issues that I was dealing with. And it's a full body from head to toe routine, focusing on acupuncture points. And it's absolutely amazing. And it really changed my life for sure. So of course, everybody's using the tennis ball now on different points in the body to help to relieve pain. So that's fantastic. I love it. And it shows how amazing it is. So I highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend. And tennis balls, you can travel. You can take them anywhere with you. Put them in your bag. Put them in your pocket. You know, they travel anywhere. Everybody should have one of these in their car. Everybody. Every single person should have one of these in their car. You put it in your back. Great for posture correction. You put it through your shoulder, or on your back, and your neck when you're driving to help you relax if you have a difficult time with the stress that comes from driving long distances. Highly, highly recommend. Every single person should have a tennis ball in their car. Okay, at work, everywhere, in your bed, everywhere. Okay, I want to talk about the chair that I'm on right now is a kneeling chair, and I absolutely love this chair. I will put a link to it. I have it. I have an Amazon storefront as well, where I have looked for specific products for people for wellness and fitness and posture correction and so forth. And so I will put a link to that as well. But the chair is on there. Kneeling chairs are fabulous. One of the things that I really like about the chair is that it positions your pelvis at a correct position. Now this is my second kneeling chair of this particular model. And so it positions my pelvis correctly. I really, really like that a lot. And we want to have a good pelvic position when we're sitting. So anytime we're sitting, we want to have a good pelvic position. If our pelvis is like this, not good. So posturally speaking, we want our hips to be just slightly forward, right? Lifting up through the center. And then you can either place the knees on the kneeling board itself, or you can have your feet straight ahead. Sometimes I will stretch, with my chair. Really, really nice to have a chair that places me in a good pelvic position, and I can stretch at the same time. Okay, so the only challenge with this chair that I want to make you aware of, at least, is that since it has no backing on it, if you do not have good balance as you're moving around, you can kind of fall off. So you want to be aware of making sure that your balance is good. Okay. So let me move this up a little bit. Okay. So these resistant bands are really, really good. These you can travel with. You can take these anywhere. And the reason why I like these is because I believe that stretching for both posture and for pain management, chronic pain management, is really, really essential. Okay. When we have chronic pain, everything shortens and tightens because we're constantly waiting. We're bracing. We're waiting for that next surge of pain that just kind of attacks us, right? So everything is shortened and tightened. We want to try and lengthen the tissue as much as possible, because lengthened tissue is healthier tissue. It's healthier, right? Something that's more compressed and tight is easier to be stagnated, right? When stagnation happens, formations establish themselves, and we don't want formations. We don't want masses of tension and knots in the body, because that creates more buildup of things that we don't want, bacteria and so on and so forth. So we don't want tension and knots and stagnation. We want free flow, open, lengthening as much as possible, range of motion, and then strengthening and stability in that, right? So these are the things that we think about both with chronic pain and with posture correction. So the resistance band itself is really nice in the lightest resistance, is really nice because we can open up each part of the body. So I know you can't see my arms, but I'm straight up. I'm holding on like this. We can lengthen through. We can pull back. And I know that, a lot of you might not be able to do this, but it allows us to stretch and to increase our range of motion at the same time. So as I finish up with the pain management segment and I move into posture correction, I'm going to use the resistance band to start us off. Okay. So let me get myself situated. When we're dealing with posture correction, we're focusing on muscles and structure. So you cannot force the structure into a correct position and expect it to stay that way when your muscles are imbalanced and tight. Does that make sense? So your muscles need to be lengthened. And then as they're lengthened, they need to be strengthened and equal balance. So you have to balance them on both sides bilaterally in order to be able to maintain long-term that structural correction. So our posture comes through our structure, our spine, our joints, right? Our bones, everything that lines up. And then what supports that structure staying in correct posture are the muscles. So those muscles, we need to have an awareness of those muscles, and we need to have an awareness of how we are balancing them left to right, front to back, top to bottom. Okay. And we do that on a diagonal. We do that circularly. So have a joint that circles as opposed to a joint that just goes front to back. We need to be able to say, okay, if this joint circles, I need to make sure that my muscles that are supporting those joints, that structure, are also balanced and strong and without chronic pain, right? So if you are having chronic pain as you are circling, so say, for example, you can go forward and back, you can go front to back, and you can go to the right, but you can't go to the left because that's where your glitch is. That's where you feel that chronic pain. That's where the symptoms become exacerbated. You need to be able to move at a smaller increment, but still focusing on developing that range of motion. And everybody is going to be different. Everybody's body is going to be different. It's going to be different at each of the seasons. It's going to be different in stressful circumstances as opposed to situations where you're more relaxed. If you've had more sleep, sometimes people experience less pain on the weekends than during the week because they're working during the week, and on the weekends they get to relax. So Everybody's body is going to be different. Everybody is going to be different. Okay. I've had some people who actually need to move to a different state because their body responds better with different temperatures and different seasons. So if that's you, then that's something to consider. So this we can use on the feet. Okay. And what do I have here? I'm in the country, so I've got a leaf on the bottom of my foot. So you can use it on your foot. Okay. Stretching. You can use it in a circle. Okay, so the resistance band is really, really universal. You can use it on all of your joints. You can travel with this. This is a phenomenal product, and I highly, highly recommend it. Even more so than, like a yoga band, just because you have a little bit more give with the resistance band. So I highly recommend that. So I want to talk to you guys about. I talked to you about muscle and structure. So you have to work with the muscles in order to correct the structure long term. If you don't do that, then it's going to make it really, really difficult to have postural correction long term. So I have people say, well, Ashley, how long is this going to take? If we start working together and, you do my assessment, we come up with a preliminary exercise plan. How long is it going to take for me to get these gains? Well, it might take you 3 months to get the gains, but is it going to stick? Are you going to be able to maintain that? And how do you maintain that? So micro stretching is a big part of the 3-Lock Mountain Fitness. So that's what this is, 3-Lock Mountain Fitness. Micro stretching is huge for posture correction. Big muscle stretching is, it's not where all the attachments are. And a lot of times we get compressed where the attachments are, where everything is at the structure level. The tightest areas is where we start to contract. And then we feel it eventually at the extension, so at the bigger muscles with decreased function, right? So we don't feel it until it gets to the big muscles, oftentimes. So what I like to focus on is micro fitness. So micro stretching, micro strengthening, and it is at the attachment level. And I know it's a little bit different to think about, but it really is, I think, I really think it's the way of the future for sure, because it prevents injuries. It helps to rehab injuries better. It helps to maintain our function. It helps us with our aging as we get older. It's actually a better form of exercise and stretching and fitness and wellness. Micro stretching, it's easier to do as we get older. And so I think it's best for people to start learning that at a younger age, so that they can benefit from it as they get older and get better and build on it as they get older. So micro stretching. As we do the 3-Lock Mountain, we're lengthening the spine. And I want you to try and do this with me. If you're sitting down and you're lengthening your spine, you're just imagining that you have a string that goes through the top of the head, from the top of the head down to the coccyx, and you're just pulling that string, and you're lifting. And as you're doing that, you're starting to feel little bits of stretches occurring at the spine. You might even feel some stretches at the ribs. Okay, and you might feel some pulling at the base of the skull. You might even be feeling it in your jaw. You might feel it in your skull. You might feel it, just really depending upon where you are very tight will depend upon where you feel this. But that sense is called micro stretching. So you're literally stretching at all these little attachments. And it is so absolutely essential that we are able to micro stretch. So I want to encourage everybody to practice the 3-lock mountain. I've got videos on the 3-lock mountain. So I want to encourage you guys to practice the 3-lock mountain. It is the best exercise and stretch that everybody can do to correct their posture and to start you off on the right track, especially when it comes to micro stretching. Any kind of elongating the arms, if you're stretching out the arms and pulling out the arms, some people call this nerve stretching. So nerve flossing. So you might have heard of flossing. If you stretch the arm way out, stretch, 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 and you start feeling this kind of nerve kind of pulling and stretching, that is micro stretching. Okay, you're really trying to focus on opening up the spaces where the joints are. So where the joints and the muscles come together, we want to open that area up. And then we want to hold it. We want to hold it and start to strengthen that area. So some people, they can't come out here. Some people, they have to start down here. You micro stretch out here. Get the structure in the correct posture. So that's what we want to start with. We want to start with getting it into the correct posture. If you can get it into the correct posture and micro stretch, open that area, get it nice and open, get fluids going to that area, get it lubricated, which everybody needs. We need lubrication around the joint and the muscle, the tissue, in order to have healthy fitness. So if you want to exercise your muscles, you need to make sure that it is lubricated well enough. We can't exercise a dry tissue, right? We just can't do that. It's going to get injured if that happens. So we want to keep it nice and open, work within your own range. Okay, meet yourself where you're at. And then we might move it. So that's the next piece. So we micro stretch and then we move it. So we want to help with the movement and the range of motion. Movement is going to provide lubrication. It's going to provide a little bit of friction. So if there's some scar tissue, we can help to break that up. Okay. And also helps with the range of motion. And that is going to increase our function. Okay. Because we're moving bodies. So we need to be able to move our bodies, and we need to be able to practice that when we're doing our posture correction. So all I'm doing is just turning my wrists, and that is helping with the shoulder itself. Again, meeting yourself where you're at. Some people might be doing it here. Some people might be doing it up here. It just depends upon where your need is and where your ability is. Some people might be able to do the full movement, the full range. Okay. So that's just one example of going from a micro stretch to a movement and then strengthening. So a lot of people think of strengthening the muscles for posture correction as getting a weight and working the muscles. And we can do that, absolutely. But I want you to also consider that part of strengthening the muscles is muscular endurance. So anytime we're in a posture position, we are trying to be in that corrective posture for an extended period of time. That's increasing endurance. It's like a long distance runner, right? So that's basically what you're doing for your posture work, is you're helping your muscles to be an endurance runner. That's what it is. And we want to be able to do that for an extended period of time. So If you're doing this here, we're strengthening the muscles, we're lengthening, and we're doing this. Say somebody says, oh, I can only do this for 10 seconds. Okay, well, maybe next week we see if you can do it for 15 seconds without exacerbating symptoms. This is the same thing with pain management alternatives. So if you are somebody who is working on managing your pain, you take it to that 10 seconds. Can I move without experiencing pain for 10 seconds? Okay, well, the next week, can I move without experiencing pain for 15 seconds? So that's across the board. We slowly increase it to help the body to adapt. So that's the steps up. So there's an adaptation process that comes when we help the body to slowly build and grow and strengthen and stretch. Okay. And then we can do more things with the body, and we see how the body works with that. And then we work with our postural discrepancies and making corrective gains there. Okay. So I think that this was a lot for our first 2024, not 2020, 2024 first video live. And I haven't had any questions on the chat from anybody. So hopefully everything has been pretty self-explanatory. Oh, let me give you one more thing that is going to be helpful, and it is topicals. I have done a video on topicals that I love and that I use, but let me show you some just close up while I'm here. So for anti-inflammatory, so if you've got inflammation, I like to use BioFreeze. Okay. And BioFreeze comes in a number of different applications. You can, or applicators, you can roll it on. You can use the hands to apply it. Just make sure that you don't, and I would say with all of these, wash your hands afterwards because of the ingredients in the products can cause burning to the eyes. Okay, so BioFreeze is wonderful for an anti-inflammatory. For warming up, Sombra has a product. So this is called Sombra. And they have a roll-on in heat therapy and with cooling therapy. I like the BioFreeze a little bit better, but I do like the warming Sombra. So this is really, really good. And sometimes when we're working with posture correction, and I'm going to bring in my my Trueo posture corrector. So this is the posture corrector that I have done review videos on, and I still currently recommend. This is a Trueo. So this is wonderful for helping to support your posture staying maintained in a particular position, just for the shoulder. So it's not for the neck. If you've got forward head, it's not going to help with forward head, but this will help with the shoulders. It's not going to help with lordosis. So if you've got your spine is really arched, it's not going to help with pulling in for the pelvic lock. It's not going to help with that, but it is going to help with the shoulders. And sometimes for some people who have chronic pain, it can help with some shoulder and neck pain and tension. It can help to relieve some of those symptoms. So it's something that I have used from time to time. But what I find is that some people who use the posture corrector, they get some pain symptoms from it. So using the BioFreeze or using the Sombra, using something called T Relief, And this has arnica in it, plus a bunch of other ingredients that is really, really wonderful. This is good if you also have an injury. Okay, if you want something that's more homeopathic, this is arnica. Okay, this is Arnicare, but arnica gel or cream is really good. It's a homeopathic, so I like that. And then my all-time go-to is called Zeng Shui. And you can't really, let's see, Zeng Shui. I will put this down in the Dropbox. And I have videos on this. This is a tonic. This is a tonifier for the blood. It's great if you have bruising, if you have nerve-related issues. The Zeng Shui is absolutely wonderful. So these kinds of things, especially if you are trying to work on your posture and you have pain-related issues that have nerve indicators, the Zeng Shui is really, really good for that. So I highly recommend. Sometimes we have to layer our alternative tools in order to see the benefits both with posture correction and with chronic pain management. Okay, you guys. Well, I think that this is about it for our video today. It's been a long video, actually. I've talked a lot about things. So let me know if you guys have, question, hold on. How do you limit soreness when on an airplane? Oh gosh, that is such a, Colleen, that is such a fantastic question. I mean, that is such a great question. Pain, especially in the hips. Okay, so I know about this. Being 6'1", traveling on a plane is not my friend. And so when I travel on a plane, I oftentimes will get restless leg and have hip issues. So tennis ball, you can sit on the tennis ball. Okay, you can use the tennis ball all around. And when you're sitting, Colleen, when you're sitting in the plane, you can take this ball and you can just push it against the back of the chair. You can, like I said, you can actually sit on it. So you can't, I'm not in a sittable chair, but you can sit on it. You can move it down the leg. Okay. You can literally move it all the way down the leg. You can use it all up. So any of these points here along the side of your leg, on the inside of the leg, and underneath here while you're sitting down on your back. Okay. All of these points with the tennis ball are going to help to relieve some of the pain, discomfort, and congestion that happens when you're on the plane in the seat. I absolutely guarantee it. Use it on the bottom of the feet. Now, oftentimes, it depends. If you're sitting in the middle seat, it's difficult, right? It's really, really difficult. I don't know how tall you are, Colleen. So height can make a difference. If you have the ability to stretch while you are in your chair, that is really nice. Depending upon how tall you are, you can put the leg over. You can put the leg over depending upon how tall you are. Okay, so like I'm 6'1", so I can't really do that in either the middle or the inside chair. But when I'm on the outside chair, which is what I usually do whenever I travel, I will be on the aisle seat, because what I can do is I can turn my hips so that I can stretch out this hip here, and then I will just take this here and I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, does that make sense? So that helps to open up And then the other thing is that you need to get up out of your seat and you need to go to the back. If it is going to the restroom and doing it in the restroom, I know there's not a lot of space in there, but again, height probably is going to work more in your favor than in mine. But when you're in the bathroom stall, you can put your leg up on the chair. Put your leg up on the chair, on the actual seat. Lean forward, lean back, do some hip rotations, one direction and the other. Okay, so there are some things that you can do. Straighten, forward, straighten. And again, micro stretching is really important. So I do a lot of spinal flexing in my Zoom class on Thursdays. I do a lot of spinal flexing with my students, and that's movement with micro stretching for the structure itself. There's a lot of things actually that you can do to help yourself when you're on the plane. The other thing that you can do is you can carry a TENS unit on the plane. You know what a TENS unit is? So I don't have my TENS unit on me here, but a TENS, they have them on Amazon. I'll put the one that I like on in the Dropbox down below. But you can carry a TENS unit with you, and you could apply it to the hips, and you can just turn it on while you're on the plane. Oh, good. You have a TENS unit. That's great. Yeah. So hip flexor strengthening. Well, if you're working on that, I would just do a real simple. When you're sitting down, you're gonna need more of a right, because when you're sitting, you're already contracting that flexor. You're already contracting that, right? So what you need to actually lengthen it is more of what you need, which would be something like this. So if you're in the plane, if you can drop down, you can't really do it on the other side. That's why you have to go to the back area. But you can just let the leg come down to your side and drop this down here. If you're in the bathroom, I would have you stand next to the toilet a little bit if you can, putting your knee down, and then what you do is you take your hip and you push it forward to help to lengthen through here, if that makes sense. Okay. So I know you're asking about strengthening, which would be, just kind of simply lifting the knee up and down. You want to make sure that you're doing it without the body weight going over to one side or the other, if that makes sense. So you want to make sure that you're nice and straight and you're lifting. Good. Yeah. So I do assessments, postural assessments, for those who are interested. And then from the assessments, how it usually works is you send me four photos, and then we meet through Zoom and we look over those photos after I've assessed them. I show you where your discrepancies are, and then we talk about what exercises I would recommend for starters to start making some postural gains, and then we start to build from there. So that's how a postural assessment would work. If you guys are interested in that, you can certainly message me and set up an appointment. Everything is done through Zoom, and it's amazing what we can accomplish through Zoom. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and you see how asking questions through the chat can really be beneficial. So maybe we can do this, more often. And if you guys want more videos like this, more lives, let me know, and maybe we can get a weekly thing going. Be super awesome for 2024. Okay, let's make a dent in our chronic pain issues and make some posture gains. All right. So happy posturing. Be well. Take care, and happy 2024.